So what do we mean by substantial physical presence? So that is that occurs based on one of two types of activities. The first is looking at your property in a state. So we've got this common definition that a retailer is engaged in business in the state, so has nexus in the state, if they maintain, occupy, or use permanently or temporarily, directly or indirectly, some sort of place, an office, place of distribution, sample room, warehouse, storage place, or other place of business in the jurisdiction. So it's important to be aware that it's not just where you have permanent offices, a warehouse, a store, a manufacturing facility, but it also could be where you might temporarily have something. So this would be inventory stored in a warehouse somewhere, or maybe you go in and you have a pop-up store. You attend a trade show, so you have a booth that you are soliciting business. All of those sorts of things can be a temporary place of business. And then directly or indirectly means that it might be somebody doing something on your behalf. You have a fulfillment partner, so someone that is handling the fulfillment of your goods. You actually have your inventory sitting in a third-party warehouse. So that would be having a potentially a temporary type of location, a temporary warehouse. But it is not your warehouse, it is a third party's warehouse. So that's what we mean by indirectly. The second type of thing that can create nexus is the activity of people. And so here we see having a representative, agent, salesman, canvasser, or solicitor operating in this state under the authority of the retailer or its subsidiary on a temporary or permanent basis. So what this tells us is it doesn't have to be my own employee. It can be an independent rep. So if you have salespeople or service people that are 1099 people and they are operating in the state under your authority, meaning they have the right to, let's say it's a salesperson, to quote prices that you will honor, then they are operating under your authority. And if they are in a state doing that, then that can create physical nexus for you. And it's not just where you are permanent, but it could also be where you have temporary. So if you have an employee that is located in one state, so I'm here in Illinois, and I temporarily go into other states to do sales or services or perform other activities on behalf of my company, then that could create physical nexus because I went in there on a temporary basis. Now, what you're doing and how long you're in a state can vary. State of Texas is very strict. You're in the state for one day doing anything, you're going to have nexus in Texas. There are other states that say if you are in the state at a trade show for less than a certain number of days, that vary from 3 days to 15 days across the states, that will not create nexus. But you can be in the state for the same number of days, not at a trade show, but maybe going in and doing service or doing sales calls, and that would create nexus. So this can get very tricky in figuring out your physical nexus.